Welcome to this video for the factory utilities for Inventor 2017 and AutoCAD 2017, although also applicable to earlier releases. As part of the factory utilities, you can create an asset descriptor which appears as a tag or an ID in the AutoCAD synced drawing of your factory layout. And our starting point for this video is a shelf fabricated sheet metal assembly that we've already published as an asset. We're now in a factory layout, but when we sync it to AutoCAD using this button here, let's save the assembly first. When we sync it to AutoCAD, we don't get a, if I just say no to that, we don't get a descriptor appearing in the AutoCAD underlay and when we open the drawing in AutoCAD as well. So there's two pretty simple steps for getting this descriptor to display correctly in AutoCAD. First off, we have to edit the factory asset itself to add the descriptor, and then we have to change our AutoCAD options to choose how that descriptor displays on the asset in the plan view. So the easiest way, since I think Factory Design Suite 2016 and onwards, to edit an asset is to simply find it in the asset browser. This is my shelf asset here, and to right click and say edit it. This edits the source assembly that this assembly asset was published from, not the published asset itself. So it's actually going back to the master file and editing the master file in order to republish the asset. So in here I'm now in the asset editor, and I can just choose asset properties, and then if I go to descriptor, what I want to do is to define it with iLogic. That's the best and the easiest way, I think, of doing this. So if I hit advanced here, you can see at the moment the factory descriptor is simply shelf, but what I want is to change that. Let's call it shelving, and then I can do some concatenation with ampersand symbols and use some other parameters in there. So I'm going to put a space in. I'm just going to say let's find my user parameter of width. If I double click on width here, so I'm going to say shelving and width and depth. I can type it out or click on them above there, and height. But I also want to say W for width, so I'm going to say W width, and I'm going to make sure I get my spaces right here. Okay, so if I put spaces within a string, then that counts as a space in the final property, and I need to concatenate parameters in blue with text strings with an ampersand symbol. So that should work there if I say save and run. Okay, and then I want to turn this on, so that's important. I need to display this in AutoCAD. So I'm going to turn it on there, and I'm going to click OK here and save this asset. So that actually republishes it for me. So if I hit save, don't want a Navisworks model. I'm fine with all the rest of this, these settings, and I'll republish the asset with that change descriptor that I've just put in there. Okay, now if we place another shelf, we'll see the descriptor on there. You can see it hasn't appeared here, even if we refresh, or even if we update the assets with this button here. If I say update, I don't believe the descriptor comes in straight away. So yeah, there's no descriptor there. So you actually have to place the assets in again. So it only works for newly placed ones. So if I drop in another shelf, and then if I perhaps change the length using my factory property down here, or the width I should say, let's make that 1300s, hit enter, update the width of the shelf, and then let's sync to AutoCAD. And then I won't open it in AutoCAD, but if I take a look in here, I can see that I have got the intelligent descriptor appearing there, but it's not the right size and it's not in the right position. So how do we sort that out? Well, this is a bit confusing. That's actually an AutoCAD setting that controls that. So what we need to do now is to go into AutoCAD. So if I sync it to AutoCAD again and say, yes, I do want to open it in AutoCAD, then what we need to do is to choose our options. So you can see this displays here exactly how it did in Inventor. and this one does as well. But now we need to type in options in AutoCAD, choose our factory annotations tab, and here's where the annotations will come in and the font and the size of it. So I'm going to choose Arial. I want the size of my descriptor to be 40 millimeters, and I want them positioned in the center in this case. I'll say OK. I can change the layer of it here in the layer settings as well. This would be the factory descriptor layer. So, you know, I can easily set that to be another color if I want a really garish color for my descriptor. Okay, and if I save this file now, you see that hasn't changed it instantly, but it will when I place new assets in. So let's head back to Inventor. I'm going to delete these assets as they stand because it only works for new assets that you place, and I'm going to place in a new shelf now. I'll make this one a height of, a width of 800 and a depth of 500, and then I'll place another one as well of a different size. Make this one a different width. There we go. And now when I sync this to AutoCAD, I expect that those descriptors are going to be correct. I have to close it in AutoCAD first, of course. Let's sync it to AutoCAD now. Okay, so you can see it appears correct here in terms of layers and positions. If I open that in AutoCAD, then we can see it's been assigned to the right layer, and it does have the right intelligent description on the descriptor there. Hope you enjoy this. Thanks very much.